Virgo, welcome to your monthly sidereal forecast for September of 2015. My name is Athen. So a very powerful month this month. We've got the eclipses taking place, which is always about changes to our life path. We've got the slow-moving planets forming important aspects and a lot of planets changing directions, retrogrades and directs. So there's a lot going on. I'm going to go through it one by one. If you have any questions throughout any of this, feel free to message me down below. I do recommend the weeklies for more specific information on this. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to check the description because this is different from mainstream astrology. Sidereal astrology uses the actual location of the planets in the sky. So your sign might be different. So do check the description and watch the appropriate video for that. So Virgo, let's go ahead and get right into it. Right on the first, we have a conjunction between Mars and Venus, right on the cusp between your 12th house. This is going to be a very spiritual month for everybody, but especially you Virgos. A lot of activity in this 12th, and a couple other things I'll mention also with relationships. But here, this this energy now is we're all going to get very motivated in a particular area of our life because Mars conjuncting Venus is very passionate. And Mars going into your 12th house is in Leo, where he's finally in a friendly sign. So he's got his energy back, generally speaking. And, he hasn't been in a friendly sign since Aries. So it's been a very long time. So I think we're all going to get this jolt right at the beginning of the month. Of course, it might be the surrounding days, but energy. And so here it's regarding behind the scenes activities. What's so interesting about Mars in the 12th house is that, it's this importance of taking things slow, of doing the spiritual meditations, doing the spiritual things, and getting that rest and relaxation. And it'll be through that you will gain more momentum and more energy. But I think where you're going to be intent on is having more peace, more tranquility, more of a spiritual attunement in your life. And that would be a very good way of working with Mars in that 12th house. I think you can enjoy that quite a bit. And maybe you guys have been learning quite a bit about what you value, about peace, relaxation, those deeper things, whether it's a deeper connection at work, a deeper connection with your relationships or with home, family, but generally in all areas of your life. You might just be feeling like, doing more behind the scenes or, with Jupiter in your 12th, it could be that your philosophy is just very spiritual right now. And you're doing the serendipitous thing, going with the flow. So whatever it is, I think there is inspiration. And I think anything involving 12th house would be very good energy to work with. Now, the conjunction up to Venus, what you have been reflecting on is probably the philosophy. And if you've been rethinking, restructuring your philosophy, maybe rethinking, restructuring the finances as well, I think a lot of that will be very motivational this very beginning of the month also. And then also on the 1st, the Sun will be opposing up to Neptune. So this is going to be an ongoing theme this month where there's this importance of, again, taking time out, getting that connection to all that is, to God, to that now moment, present awareness. And at the same time, Neptune's been transiting your 6th. So here, your work, your daily routine, and all of this has been very important for you to have faith and to trust that everything is unfolding in that sector, in the more grounded sector, the more daily sector of your life. And with that faith and trust, things are flowing, things are coming, things are happening serendipitously, but it's only through having that, that acceptance of that surrender to the divine plan, to the divine picture. And that's going to be very important because I think while you are intent on a lot of the spiritual pursuits, there is also the implementation of all of this on the practical level, on that day-to-day level. So whether it's at work, whether it's with the routine, the health, anything you're involved with, and this is your house, Virgo. So you guys, with Neptune in your 6th, naturally, there's a lot of the spiritual energy that has been coming through in the things that you're involved with, and the increasing importance of doing things like yoga or meditation, things like that help you connect to the present moment with whatever it is you're involved with. So that's going to be very important this month, all month really, but on the 1st, the Sun opposing up to that is going to be significant. Now on the 5th and 6th, Venus does go station direct right on the cusp of that 12th house of yours. So now with Venus here, you can continue to enjoy, as I'm sure you have been probably over the past couple months, the meditation. Again, all of those 12th house activities working behind the scenes. So be open to that. I think you can find all that quite enjoyable. And all those things that maybe you have been reflecting on in terms of the financial or the philosophy and the more adventurous spirits of life, that will all start to move forward. I think you'll understand a little bit more about life path now this month, where you're headed, where you're going, what's unfolding, because that's just the nature of Venus ruling that part of your chart. So 7th, 8th, and 9th, Uranus will be trining up to Mars. So here there is support, and it's coming in through relationships. And like I was saying, there's relationships has been and will continue to be a very significant part of this month. And it has been this year. This is where you'll have that lunar eclipse. But whatever it is, it's releasing past energies with that. That's been the ongoing theme with the South Node transiting your 7th. But there's been this freedom and this importance of you having freedom in your relationships, the freedom to be yourself, but mostly to have types of relationships, and this is all relationships, that are autonomous, where it's two individuals coming together to share an experience. And you might be very different. You might be, over the past 5 or 6 years, maybe interacting with individuals that are very different from the past prior to that. So very unique in that regards. So continuing to be open to that, and I think socializing and forming connections and just really getting involved with one-on-one connections, you'll find supporting whatever it is these spiritual pursuits are for you. And again, spiritual, I mean very loosely in the sense of behind the scenes. So, and this could also be service. This is a kind of energy too, where it's so important to be other oriented in the sense of giving, contributing, service-oriented, helping others. But anyways, new beginnings and opportunities shaping up for you here, spiritual insights perhaps, and maybe even new ways of looking at things that you didn't see before around this first and second week of the month. Then around the 11th through the 17th, we've got a few aspects. One is that Mercury is going to be sextiling up to Venus. So your ruler, this is significant, but your ruler has been in your first house. So while there's a lot of the spiritual stuff, you guys should have energy, or at least can. You guys should have at least an intention on your goals, drives, ambitions, things of that nature. Now, your ruler is going to go retrograde on the 17th, but up until that point, this first half of the month, continue to pursue your goals, continue to move that active energy forward, because this is the most significant planet in your chart. And what you'll find is that through all of that, you're going to learn a tremendous amount about yourself, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself over the next couple months. But it'll come through, again, applying yourself there, maybe even getting involved with career, since Mercury does also rule your 10th house. So really focusing on that, applying that on a daily level, and all that you can enjoy. You can really enjoy the career, you can really enjoy yourself, your self-image, feeling good, looking good, applying yourself to your goals, things like that, which is Mercury ruling those areas of your chart, sextiling up to Venus, who is usually enjoyments of things. So that's the 11th through 17th. Also this time period, the 13th to the 21st, so still middle part of the month here, Jupiter does oppose up to Neptune. So again, just like with the sun, while your philosophy is probably getting a treatment of more of like the, spiritual side of things, the Christed Buddhic teachings, if you will, this is now really emphasizing that, because Neptune is about those same things that the 12th house is about, but it's on a practical day-to-day level. So with all of this philosophy that you guys are understanding more about in a spiritual sense, and you're expanding your spiritual horizons, again, with Jupiter, what you'll find is the more you apply this on a daily level, the more opportunities you actually see. But it's not practical. It's not understood. It just sort of happens. And it's having that faith and trust which will allow more of this expansion to occur of the spiritual side of things. Also with relationships, and also with home and family, since Jupiter does rule those sectors also. So those areas are also, going through more of the spiritualizing time as well. But you should be feeling quite good, and at least very, optimistic about spirituality, whatever that means to you personally. So that's the 13th through the 21st. And then on the 13th, we have this solar eclipse taking place. And that's going to be in that 12th house. So this is the first eclipses in your 12th house from the series that will begin now for the next couple of years. And so now, it's always very significant. There's new shifts, there's new changes happening about the spiritual aspects of life for you. So it's always a time of going within. It's always important during these new moons and solar eclipses to go and do that status check, do the introverted thing. For you in the 12th house, meditate, yoga, whatever it is that helps you connect to the present moment. And then through that, what you'll find is that there's these new things unfolding for you, slow and steady as the month unfolds, but really over the next 6 months, when a lot of whatever these new things are will come to a culmination point for you around that time period. So in either case, new beginnings around 12th house, which could be giving, service, flow, trust, faith, knowing that there's a divine plan, there's a divine process. And although there is a portion of this where you are active, there's a strong portion of this you're becoming aware of, the non-active side of it, that there are, of course, things and energies larger than self. So that you can find very healing. It'll be opposing up to Chiron, and also very powerful because it will be trining up to Pluto. Now on the 17th, your ruler goes retrograde, so that will probably spawn some sort of introverted energy here for you from the 17th onward. We're now for the remainder of the month and into October. It's going within, right? It happens 3 times a year. Your ruler retrograde is spending more attention now on the inner side of things. And so through that, especially in your first house, it's understanding more about yourself on the inner level. So whereas prior to this and leading up to it, you guys are very intent on the outward image or outward drives and focuses. Now your ruler retrograde in the first is very much about your inner, sense of self. And it's not really meant to be labeled. That's the whole point. It's Mercury's retrograde. He's usually a very analytical planet. You guys are very analytical. But here it's feeling it. It's more of the intuition and that sort of process. So take things slow. Again, it's a reflective time, but there are things shifting up for you in the first house nonetheless. The sun does go into your first house around the same time period, so you should be focused still on the things that you're pursuing. And by all means, this is what this life path energy is. So please, while it is reflective, apply it. The North Node has been in your first house for the past 2 years. So continue with expanding your goals, your ambitions, who you are, your self-image, things of that nature. And then through that, you're going to actually be learning, like I said, a lot more about yourself, both on an inner and outer level, actually, for that matter, especially with the sun in the first. Happy birthday to you Virgos who have your birthday this month. Again, this is for Sidereal Astrology. All right, so that's going to be that 13th, 17th time period. Then on the 18th all the way into October, Saturn sextiles up to your ruler. So you guys should be feeling actually quite disciplined this month, which is great. Seeing, or at least can be with a sextile, you're seeing the long term, seeing the big picture and taking things slow. And that's exactly what you want to incorporate with this kind of aspect. Now, this is coming from the stability and discipline that you guys have over the past 2 years been building with material security. Saturn's been in your second house, so hopefully during that time period, you guys have been building a strong financial security, saving, dollar saved is a dollar earned, that kind of thing. That's Saturn in the second. And through that, a grounded sense of self-esteem and your ability to achieve your values in life. So that energy there will be strongly supporting you this middle part of the month. So wait a minute. No. Pretty much this middle part of the month, but really your life path all the way into October. So the life path energy is, again, it's about where you're headed, where you're going, and through the self-esteem, which I think has been building, with Saturn here, it's supporting that. So tap into that Saturn energy, and I think what you'll find is more unfoldment of life path. Really Saturn energy involving, the material security of life that hopefully you've been working on for the past 2 years. But if not, continuing with that while Saturn is going to be in this second house of yours. And then after this in October, he's going into your third. So that's Saturn sextiling the North Node. Then on the 23rd through the 27th, we got a couple aspects taking place. One is the Sun will be conjoining up to your North Node in the first house. So around the 24th, you should have some insights, I would say, certainly about yourself again, and new beginnings shaping up about these new pursuits while things are very spiritual behind the scenes. And then Mars does square up to Saturn. So whatever it is you're pursuing here behind the scenes, take it slow around this time period, this later part of the month. This is where we first start to experience, our first hurdles with this sort of transit. So be patient. take it slow, one step at a time. These are the kind of energies that Saturn will be testing. Your perseverance and your patience with your pursuits. And that's for all of us, but it's mainly your pursuits involving that 12th house. And then naturally, if you are open to that, by taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, so to speak, you can accomplish quite a bit involving these 12th house matters. This second part of the month here, 24th through the 27th in particular. Now on the 25th, Pluto goes station direct. Pluto goes station direct here, and this is in your 4th house. So here with the home and family, a lot of that has been changing perhaps for you, over the past many years. And this is your 4th house, so it's your emotional body. So whatever you've been reflecting on over the past 6 months involving home, family, maybe you've been restructuring, redoing your perspective on those areas. Now the energy starts to move forward. And so be open to that. Step into that power, as it has been the case for you to make change in the home, family, past, or emotional side of life this second half of the month. And then this will be slow and steady. This will be going into October. But what you'll find is that by being open to change here, we no longer resist it. Through no longer resisting it, the change becomes much more easy. It's not like we're resisting it and then it feels like it's happening to us. We become the agent of change. So continue there and really reflect on what you learned over the past 6 months about home, family, past, and roots, and how you can apply that this later part and into October. So that's it for the major transits. Now on the 27th through the 28th, we have the high point of the month, which is the lunar eclipse in the 7th house. A lot of you set off on new beginnings involving relationships about 6 months ago. So now is the culmination point of this. So the energy that you have been putting into your one-on-one connections, again, it's all types of relationships. What you'll find is that you have an awareness now around this, a culmination and awareness around this part of your life. So whether it's relationships, might be business related things for some of you, contracts, legal matters, that's 7th house, but relationships generally for each of you. And that high point, this culmination, think back to March of last year, what you started there. And you'll see it. You'll be able to see very clearly how things are in the relationship sphere. And there's going to be shifts and changes, especially in regards to letting go of old, unhealthy sort of energies involving relationships, which is that south node in the 7th. And then through that, it's going to help spawn a lot more of this focus on you, which has been the north node transiting your 1st house, and now the sun, Mercury, and soon to be the other planets going into your 1st house over the next couple months, which will gear up for more of that energy to assert yourself, to go after those things that you want in life, etc. But around this time period, it's going to be a very spiritual full moon. It's happening in Pisces, seeing the importance of, for you Virgos, of course, having that spiritual connection with those in your life, things like that. And can be fruition, but in either case, implementing these energies, because the energies are high around this time, but again, through that spiritual awareness. So that's it. And then your ruler Mercury does conjoin up to the sun here at the very end of the month on the 30th. So I think you guys should be learning even more about self as this ongoing theme, but also expressing yourself quite a bit going into October, which we'll get into next month. So that's it, Virgo. I hope you guys have a nice month. If you have any questions, do let me know. If you haven't had a personal reading, do click the link down below for one of those. And have a good one. For more information, do check out your weeklies, and I'll talk to you all next time. Take care.